Hey guys, it's PostCPR here. It's best you just leave this on the background, just listen to what I have to say. The words I say are a little bit scrambled, and I know I have a bunch of tangents on there, and I try to do this all in like one sitting on OBS, and I know I probably should have done this in my editing program itself so I can sound more consistent and not have so many pauses between. So yeah, sorry if it sounds a little off, and yeah, just enjoy the video for what it is. Just hear what I have to say, and then maybe comment, share what it is. This is more like a things we feel like we should have in this game, or at least push towards. So yeah, this is just subjective in my opinion of what I can see how this game can improve from just being a game versus a gacha game. So yeah, let's try to lean more to being a game first, gacha later. Enjoy. Also, holy shit, I try to do this late night, like at 11 o'clock, so that's why it sounds a little off. Anyways, look, the live stream already happened. I didn't watch it yet, but after I drop this video, I'm gonna go ahead and watch that shit, and I'm gonna come back to this and be like, oh well, add more into it. Hopefully they add some stuff on. So yeah, it's like 10 o'clock now, dude. I gotta work. I'm tired of shit. Anyways, enjoy. So, Zenless Zone 0 2.0 live stream is tomorrow, and I hope to hear some improvements on the game. So I have the worst schedule known to mankind. On the hour it drops is the hour at work. Boo-hoo. Here are some changes that ZZZZ Destiny needs, in my opinion, going into 2.0 onwards, all the way up to 3.0 and even beyond. Hopefully a lot of these can come a lot sooner. So let's get into it. All right, first up on the list of the things that need to change. One of the things that need to change that be one of the biggest improvements in the game is going to be this Loadout. Loadout is for the ease of use for people who have preferred sets. I experienced this in Wandering Ways, and I think they have a soft version of this in HSR and Genshin, but not solidified yet. For some reason, devs never listened for almost 5 years in Genshin. But yes, this will be a big step in a devs listen moment here if ZZ implements this. Players like myself are entering different fields of disk drives to use and experiencing outside normal builds to, some extent. I want to try things, but I don't want to go through a bunch of screens and little stuff to grab back what I need. Sometimes, you can swap between characters, but if I can just click on a button, it will make things a lot easier. Second thing that needs to change is going to be better endgame rewards. I would prefer for the endgame rewards such as Your Defense, Deadly Assault, and Hollow Zero is I'd be able to get a supply box similar to Girls Frontline 2. A supply box that allows players to choose what they prefer, what they need. So, currency, Denny's, disk drives, or other materials like, materials low disk drives itself. Yeah, and then you get the crappy stats. You're like, dang it. I gotta spend like another 100 or 60 energy for another rerun, and then to get the same thing, that's gonna be worse. But yeah, I also know that there is a supply guy who gives rewards, but I want more because the builds take too long. This also falls into number 3, which will be making character farming much more accessible. Give more materials because it takes far too long to build an agent in a patch while players are pre-farming for the next. Without pre-farming or some knowledge of the future, there will be a lot more complaints, and especially FOMO. Now we wouldn't want that. I kind of messed up on the list here, so it's gonna be 3 and 4. So up next one be allowing players to reselect between Bell and Wise, or just remove the fact you can choose between them, because honestly, there are much better MCs players can control because they have their own identity. At this point, it makes no sense to divide the two who you choose. I'm sure it may hear story to some extent. I know the boys are like, why the hell Bell on a date with X character? For example, Astra, as we see in the trailer, is on a date with Wise, and Wise came like a 7. You're like, oh my god. You want to hear more from his perspective. Wedding ways allow this change between the genders, so once it happened, I said, yo, after what I experienced, I'm swapping right back to male Rover, man. Can't relate, but hey, look, preference. After I do a little bit of story stuff, I can always swap back to Rover, and the day cooldown, sure, that's pretty cool. I still use male Rover to this day. Maybe I grown a little burnt out using female characters for the past 5 years, being MCs. I'm just like, I'm kind of a little over it now. Especially when they have their own personalities and not just a self-insert. It just feels more impactful. I want to experience both sides of Bell and Wise or cutscenes. So yeah, all right, for number 4, it's going to be a change that I want because I missed out on this event, and it's exclusive W engines. Yes, yes, the limited time ones, the FOMO event weapons. I would like this to be craftable or farmable, just like how it is in HSR. They add this to like the British shop. So yeah, they done good improvements, but like a year or two late, you know, some people, you know, but that Silver Wolf light cone is still pretty good. I'm not sure about it to this day because no one really uses the character. And they pushed back improving the characters back to like 3.4. So yeah, it kind of sucks. And devs themselves want to, you know, they created ZZ to make it like they don't have to play every day. They could put it down and pick it up anytime. So let's try to remove the FOMO. If you guys want to be about it, just hey, look, practice what you preach. Do include it because my goofy ass has procrastinated so hard in 1.4. I missed that crit W engine, man. That attack, oh man, it hurts so much. Sure, this will help out casual players too who want to get back into the game with optional engines to farm. They could put it in a tower. The higher you go, the more dupes you can get, a reason to play, or just a progression event to get the engine. Like, hey, you missed out on this. We're just going to give you the engine, man. Give you tips what to do. Level up this, level this, easy. All right, so with number 5 here, I would love for Z to allow us at the end screen of a run is allow us to save it for contests. If I'm playing Sheer Defense or Deadly Assault off stream or so, I do some pretty cool stuff in that run, I can save it. Also, players of the community like sharing funny and cool wipeout screens that can become memes. I've seen a bunch of them on Twitter and it's really good. It helps out the community grow tremendously. It gets people addicted in some sort of sense. They want to see more of it. You know, people like very casual people, just people who are looking into the game. Oh, this is kind of wacky and cool because these animations are pretty peak and, you know, some goofy moments that happen there too. Also, being able to upload that to like a proxy tool area would be nice for Endgame community, and people can like or review it, you know, so give a little review on it. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna try to hope ZZ will add some sort of love for the casuals. Okay, we're gonna try and hope ZZ will give some casuals some love. What are you taking a break from the game and never learn certain things? I feel there should be a pop-up notification for certain players. I sort of hate this just slightly myself, so I would want to turn this off if I can make it optional, since I find it more fun to learn my own and struggle, you know, content, you know. The more you fail, the more you learn, and more you experiment, you know, and you still learn off that too. Yeah, so especially with boss mechanics of the boss, right? The construction balls, you need to learn a pair that stun them for a little bit. You do more damage, maybe help with possession from the Bangboo in the fight to help newer players or returning players. I feel that would be fantastic, and especially if you get defeated, it can be a big suggestion window for them to click if they want additional help. Again, being able to turn this off will be pretty cool. Don't want that forced on you, like, you know, hey, look, you messed up again, or your H's are, oh, your relic's too low, your level too low, this and that. I want some more help and stuff for those players, so they don't gotta keep asking me. I understand it can be annoying to have pop-up windows on the side telling you what you do isn't the best, but for the very casual people who wish to learn the game, that will significantly help them without going to a different site to say X, Y, and Z. Some endgame stuff there is cool. So yeah, the more casuals we have, the more pop-up our game would be. So let's be fair to them and not lead them out or look down at them. Now, if you got some goofy ass build, you best believe I might roast your account. But I ain't that low like I was in other games. This is just a side joke for my friends when they would rather ask me than look up a damn guide. I point on them. I do love them, but I understand it creates conversation and connection with people, so there's a plus to it. These should help point us to prostitutes better and keep whatever link they pull you out of the game in game. You know, that's kind of annoying. I only recently kind of seen this like right beside the prostitute. It was like, okay, make sure I have everything ready for this video. I clicked on this thing and it brought me out the game, opened my browser. I'm a PC player. I just want to keep things inside the game. Let's make it an in-game thing. See everything, click on the video. And if you already want to go to the website, sure. I'm not sure how it affects mobile players, but yeah. Okay, number 7. We all hate this very much. It's not seeing the buffs that are applied to our characters. Sure, you can press start or whatever it is and see what buffs you have, but there's other buffs that applies to like weapon buffs, other stuff in disc drops. You don't necessarily see it. So it will be better to just see everything viewable. Like when people go ahead and laugh. But in a train mode, we all want to see what's applied and before we calculate the damage in total. It just helps get visibility instead of mental overload, keeping up all these things in our heads. Not everything goes right in the training mode and deadly assault because, yeah, you just get attacked a lot. Number 8. All right, we're gonna start entering some combat quality life changes that I desire. This has been a long time demand from me. I feel that should be implemented into the game because in these action games, it just feels a little off, you know, not having this. This one is big and I feel like it can be game changing to an extent, and that's going to be faction based special attack. I feel with all of our agents, and if we play them from the same faction, we should be able to use decibels to unleash a perhaps one-time alt special in battle. Now here are some requirements, and it's very simple. All 3 characters or 2 should have their own decibel meter built to the top or EX meter to release this. Depending on how the decibels should go about this, I really want to see the cunning hairs of Victorian housekeeping have a animation between each member to unleash an all together special. Now, what would it look like? In fact, I think it'd be pretty crazy depending on how the devs want to implement this or animate it. Let's say the pub sec team and start off an animation with Julian and Chingy in the cop car speeding at enemy shouting, "Freeze, you're under arrest," or something along the source, and then Seth and Jane come out of nowhere and do some sort of together attack and have some supporting fire from the Bangboo that you choose, or maybe the cop one. Hey, big special damage. I think the animation will be cool and lit. Just seeing an Oboe squad team attack, Victorian housekeeping with Lack and Shadow rip out your throat, and Arena coming down to do her attack. It'd be kind of neat. It just makes it more dynamic and cool, not just one-dimensional gameplay. I feel this also can be done in a unique way that isn't too disruptive. This is a one scene of all of them attacking, and this just enters another point of mine, which is number 9. So, with number 9, allow all specials to happen at once. You know how Miyabi does her special? Well, think like this. You know the stun window animation? How about we can choose another agent who has their special mode and click it in the same scene and animation that Miyabi is doing. Meaning that in the middle of the Miyabi's animation, you hit Yanagi and the video turns gray and freezes on her end, and then Yanagi comes in like a comic book style, boom, just pop in. It'll be cool like Persona style or something like that when she starts it off. I just think this idea will be really cool to add to the game. So at the same time, both units are using their ults at the same time, no breaks in between, just hell on earth, and then you have Vivian running and do her normal attacks for the up blooms, you build up the stuff. I think it'll be cool, it'll be nice, an interesting change. Hopefully they can code it at some point. Maybe it won't be too complicated. It doesn't sound too complicated. So to me, this is the ideas I have for nearly a year now playing this game. I just procrastinated a long time to produce this until something inspires me to do so. Alright, so we at number 10. I noticed the Yap Fest here, but hang in there. I do like to yap, but I try to stay on topic to a degree. The script has been kind of going off in different places, but I have to try to freestyle a little bit because what I wrote on the script is just not complete. I honestly can make this a separate video, but I'm just throwing it in because, you know, the live stream is tomorrow, so I have no dreams included. So number 10 is going to be the actual combat system itself. I know some fighting game players and hardcore action game players who can style and combat would really like this. It's not required, but it really helps add diversity into the combat itself. I feel like the combat is a bit one-dimensional, so let me explain, but keep it somewhat short. Spoiler, I kind of failed doing that. I played many games. Dynasty Warrior-like games, Nier, PGR. I didn't play Devil May Cry, but I've seen a lot of it. HI3 to an extent. A combo system with diversity and movement is good and flashy. We don't need it to be extreme like HI3 or PGR, which is competition to HI3, but reasonable and grounded more. Please add the jump button. I want something to make fighting animations less bland and able to change from these 3 stages. So let me explain. From light attack does less damage, but it's faster and also builds decibels much faster. Normal attacks is what we already have, so it's just, you know, regular attacks as normal animation. And then there's going to be heavy attacks built for adding more stun damage or daze on certain units. So not too much to compete with stunners, but just adds a bit more damage to the stun. But the attack is much slower and less iframes from dodging, just to kind of balance a little bit, something a little bit, you know, you got to give something kind of align to something, you know. I just want to make it a little more fair and reasonable for the devs. But hey, look, man, myself personally, hey, look, yo, keep it on there. Yo, just do that, no iframes, nothing. So we can also add something like a mini stamina bar to show you can alternate between different attacks, between the light and heavy attacks, aside from normal basic attacks. Plus, the hair attacks can also just be a bit more anomaly build up for like anomaly characters, or for like shocked anomaly when it goes off. It shocks the enemy. You know, Harmonsa gets, I believe he gets some extra little things, little cools or whatever. I forget what it's called. More arrows to dash thing, you know what I mean. So there are times I want to use Asha, but I want to actually fight with her like an action game. She can trip regular enemies, she can set down traps, a combo into her EX, especially, you know, her animation takes forever. I wish I could have swapped out a lot earlier. Yeah, I want Lucy to do more with the bat, maybe a combo into like a fiery home run strike that'll just adds more anomaly damage. Sure, just kind of brace up a little bit of classes a little bit because she's supposed to be just support, not anomaly support. It just makes no sense why we have like a fake combo list. Making it diverse between, if I can swap between light attack and heavy attack, something unique that happens to the character. So let's add like a speed up for the first 5 seconds in the animation when we do it, and then something like Lucy's pig grabbing an enemy for like 3 seconds and do dot damage over time. That would be cool, and it cheats up the character and make more dynamic teams and more people can play together, even if they need like special core requirements, like, oh, this character needs to be an attack character, give Lucy something more for her abilities. I don't want the game to just be a EQ and then swap, kind of like Genshin. It has been for a very long time. I can go and follow by Yak quite a lot, so let's move on. Alright, so we're like on number 11. Better combat, but how about better enemies and boss mechanics? At this point, I want the enemies to be more aggressive. This ain't Genshin. I want the monster to grab us, hold us down while the enemies does their own special attack or team attack on us. Beat our asses. Use some mechanic that strikes us more. Hell, give me Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors mode. I want like mayhem. I know it's a simple gacha game. I'm actually from like some drastic stuff, maybe a little too much, but I want to see more. I want more from this game. Boss mechanics, okay, at this point we're fighting some of the same enemies and boss mechanics. At this point we should be trying to incorporate some of the Hollow Zero like debuffs or buffs to them, you know, debuffs to us and then some buffs to us. But some patterns are too easy to read. Turn this game into like a Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I want it to be less predictable. I want to be able to go to the boss. If I stun, I can click some sort of QTE attack, or the enemy should be able to do that to us. If we fail, we die, but intervals are random. Just make it for a harder game mode so casuals aren't too overwhelmed, I suppose. Gotta care about them too. Alright, so number 12. This is going to be multiplayer. It was in beta, I believe, but we should have it for casuals who need carrying or social gatherings. This can be for Hollow Zero, want to have fun with someone else, or other game modes. Making something for a new event like this can work, I guess, if the devs wish to test this, because that's how every event should be. It should be a test before they want to add something into the game permanently. So yeah, this is why I kind of want a different combat animation, because I don't want to see the same player doing the same low-ass animation, charge test with Blacken and Colada. It just seemed to be a little bit bland. I want to flash yourself on the screen and to show off and buff other characters with my character skills, while being able to fight, you know, Asher, for example. It'll be boring just to sit there with her doing her E attack and everyone else is just attacking. I'm just hitting one button and shouting, come on, hit harder. All right, number 13. I really want to see some more optimization for the training mode. I want to add my Bangboo and study what it does and how it handles itself. I want to see some inputs I do in control to help understand what I'm doing. This can help visually for casual players and advanced players to get advice or to show up a new concept of a team combo. Definitely would help to have adjusted conditions and buffs to understand a lot more to the game. This game has depth, and asking for a lot of change is making this more like an actual game versus a fighting game, or action game, sorry. Plus, devs listen so far, and we'll see if they honor these changes for everyone. If this video gets out to be big and everyone agrees with it, of course. Even hoyoverse started lapping it up about like 2 months ago to get significantly better. Yes, cancel combos and do a lot of stuff, and it feels significantly better and a lot more fun. Alright, so number 14. So the devs said that they will have all squad members on the field in the future. That was the devs talk. Nice update, but how does this really work? Would it be like Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis and the boys? Yo, that was a pretty good game. I liked it until it hit a certain point, and then the game got sped up real fast and it came shitty. I really want to see some cool QTE between Black and Ellen, or Jane and Seb. Alternating between this would significantly make the fight much more engaging, much more impactful, and much more stylish. It changes up stuff, you know? Okay, there definitely should be like some sort of command system out there in the field for like an NPC players to make sure they don't die or what to focus on. So some of them can focus on dodging and some of them can focus on EX abilities when my character doesn't. And of course, I know it sounds a little bit overwhelming and thinking about it, but maybe we can share this between different players to help regular players and other players alike to help understand stuff. Yeah, hey, look, casuals need a lot of help too. They may not know some stuff and may not be able to play with some friends. All right, number 15. We're gonna bring it back to quality of life. Want to be able to take selfies as Vivian. Last night when I done a thumbnail, I find it frustrating to not grab an image of her that's not spoils or anything from the story I have yet to do. I don't want to do quality time with them to get that. I think it just helps out a lot and to be creative. Lighter can straight some cool JoJo poses. We can do some Sentai poses, that's Power Rangers. How about Caesar on a bike? What about Miyabi sitting on a plastic chair? That'll be pretty cool. All right, number 16. We're gonna be talking about Bangboos. Bangboos are very essential to the game's enjoyment and probably the more appealing companion sidekick, whatever you wanna call it, that's ever been produced. Why don't we add some more game modes? The Fall Guys event at Marcel Bangboo was pretty cool. It's a good set, but I want more. There should be power-up adds to some stages, more stages, of course, itself and races and other mini games, just like Fall Guys. Just go all out with it. Don't hold back. I want them to add a Bangboo fighting game mode. I want to see Bangboos going at each other 1v1 style like Tekken. Not exactly like it, but like some sort of old school fighting game like Street Fighter Alpha 3, one of my personal favorites. How about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 3v3, just like King of Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters also. I just think Bangboos is a good concept that can be further expanded on. Just add more and the players will come in. And how about this? Let's add another mode in there. Something like Deadly Assault, but 3 players versus 1 endgame boss. And they have to play as Bangboos. I feel like it can be a really cool thing. We got 20 Bangbos in the game currently that can be added into the Bangboo fighting game. Currently, Overtime Boo got a lot of frustration to dish out, and some other Bangbos got beef for being power crap. Number 17 is going to be a little bit of a stretch. How about an open world exploration of running through Hollow Zero, or at least a hollow itself? It will be kind of cool to have some open world or open roaming event like Persona dungeon crawling system. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. This is going to be number 18. When I play a sheer defense at times, I dislike the music. It's too generic, too random, and it's just noise unfit for the end game. I want something more dramatic or allow us to have song selection we want to listen to. Bringer and Pompey music is fire compared to the random noises we hear. Some musics that are also in game are also pretty cool also listen to this, but it's like when I play sheer defense, I gotta cut on some Nikki music or something more serious catered to like end game related. Genshin mess up with this one. It's just so generic and just so random. That's like listening to WoWa first region and 1.0 music, and it's just unfit. All right, number 19. The devs was really working on this one, which was upgrading characters. We got a taste that in a Hollow Zero. Ellen doing her like ice slash attack. Foreign plays a lot better. It was actually fun to play her. Miyabi is even more broken. Yanagi feels freaking amazing to play. And Astra, she got like a nice Girobi blast. It feels really cool. Billy, that needs reworking, man. He's just shooting, man, but it was like a lot slower. He's just shooting max. I got for a very long time. And this one's number 20. How about a damn jump button? We need that. Hey, look, HSR memed about it, but ZZD, you can add it to the combat, please. Okay, this one's gonna be the serious last one. I want it to be like some destruction on the stage. I want some fighting to be show some damage, something being destroyed, make the zone feel more dynamic and cool. And like if I make a mistake and the boss rushes me, he can slap me into the next zone, next area. It'd be like a cutscene, like Dead or Alive. You fall down, but you bounce out the floor. The boss shouldn't be able to combo me off that. Okay, that'd be a little too much. Okay. All right. So yeah, for a very long time, this is like the closing of the video. I could make more of these, but hey, look, it'll be an hour video if I keep on yapping. But yeah, the live stream is going to happen tomorrow. I want to see what they're going to say, but I got to find out afterward. So yeah, like, comment, whatever you want, how you feel about this. Sure, I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff people may not agree on. We're going to have disagreements, of course. That's the norm. This is off the top of my head. I said, hey, look, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to put this in before 2.0 comes out. So yeah, this is Carl signing out. Enjoy 2.0 live stream, guys.